The work session?
I didn't know.
We get the 20%, that was...
Okay. All right, this is the work session for the River Edge Mayor and Council for Monday, August the 5th, 2013. It is now approximately 7 p.m. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by sending the notices on December 21st, 2012 to the Record and the Ridgewood News, positioning notice on the bulletin board in the lobby of the Borough Hall, and filing a notice with the municipal clerk. I'd like to remind members of the public that we have 3 fire exits in the council chambers, 2 to the front and 1 to the rear. We're on the record. Everything that is being said and seen is being recorded. If during the public portion of the meeting any member of the public wishes to make a statement, they need only identify themselves, give us your name, address, and we can hear your comment or answer your question. I believe that's it. Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Murphy?
Here.
Councilman Eckler-Freda?
Present.
Councilman Capola? Councilman Young?
Here.
Councilman Bordeloni?
Here.
Councilman Papaleo? And Mayor Mascari-Polo?
Present. Okay, we have Mr. Costa present, who I needs to get to another meeting. So he's going to give us an update on the county program regarding curb ramps, reconstruction.
Mr. Mayor, Councilwomen, Councilmen, good evening. Mr. Negrin, good evening. Very quickly,
I know, Mo.
I had a phone call probably 2 or 3 weeks ago from Tom Connolly from the county, who said to me, we have $8 million, why don't you do the ramp so we can do Kinderback Road? And I said, quite frankly, I didn't know that the town entered into the agreement, number 1. And number 2, I said, I don't think the money was appropriate in order for the town to take on the project to do the ramp. Alan and I had a conversation last Wednesday morning. Alan sent the memo that I received and reviewed actually tonight for the meeting. And the agreement was actually signed, Mayor, unbeknownst to me by yourself back in December 17th of 2012.
Okay.
It would expire or terminate if nothing's done within 3 years from that date. It could be terminated by mutual consent of either party, or obviously if the project is completed, then this agreement, once it's finished, it's over with. Reading through it, and I think if you go back to the budget sessions, the town has to actually bond the money and hire the contractor and do the inspection work, which would be reimbursed for. It doesn't talk about engineering, but I think there's another document that actually picks up the cost, Alan, if I'm not mistaken, for engineering and a reimbursement there. So technically, you would have to put out the money, put it out to bid, contract the contractor, have him perform these ramps and do all the work, inspect it, sign off on it, and then ultimately it becomes yours from that point in the future to maintain it, or for us to go after the property owner in order to maintain it. And then after you do all of that, then the county, if they make a decision, talks about nothing about them paving anything, but then they would come in supposedly and pave.
And pave Kinderback?
In this case, I guess it would be either Kinderback or Midland, any of the county roads. Now, Midland was just done probably 2 years ago, Alan, if I'm not mistaken.
That's about right.
Then we got into it, okay, if we do the ramps, what happens to the curbs? On Midland, they wanted us to sign off on the integrity of the curbs. Well, certain spots, there's no curbs. So I don't know how you would do that. A county road has specifications. A curb has to be 8 inches high, a certain depth in the concrete curb. So I'm not sure who would pay for that. It talks about nothing of doing that. So I think that's when the council ultimately decided to take out the money that was necessary in order to at least get the bonding in place.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, it would be good if we could have the county roads repaved, and it would be even better if we could put new curbs in, and the county would pay for it. Ed?
No, but what my understanding was, we had this happen at Fort Lee, the county has a budget for what they'll spend on a road for curbs and the handicap ramps. And to give the example in Fort Lee, they wanted to pave Anderson Avenue essentially from the Cliffside Park border to Main Street. They originally budgeted $20,000 to upgrade the ramps. It wound up costing almost close to $300,000 by the time they were finished. So the county said that they were going to, in the future, build town if they had to replace old ramps that were not exactly in compliance with the DOT spec. So I think we need to find out from the county, do they have a budget for us? And, because if they're talking about replacing every existing ramp on Kinderkamak and
We
curb,
came up with a budget, I think it was close to 300,000,
That was from a layman's point of view.
with the help of Mayville.
Yeah.
There was some help there.
All right.
That was you going down there and then saying how much would it, yeah, I think it's close to a number, it's probably close to a realistic number.
and that's replacing ones that are existing which may not be
All of them.
compliant.
Yeah, basically almost all of them from Hackensack border up to Oradell.
That's probably the same length we did
Yeah.
in Fort Lee, so, but I would make sure the county's willing to,
Well, I mean, we get emails, you're probably on the same email chain, from Concrete Construction that says, okay, I'm ready, I'm willing, I'm able, but I have no work. So this program went into effect in 2012, but I don't think anybody, now you said you did do it.
yes, we did do it. Yeah.
But I guess he's still looking because they have $8 million or $12 million in resurfacing money that they can't, that they're not using.
But the question is where the concrete money's coming from. The paving money's coming from the feds, and that was always what they said, because it's, the feds require them to be ADA compliant before they can get that
Right.
money. But the county is funding those concrete improvements out of the county budget, so I don't know how much money they have allocated, and that's what I think we need to find out.
What Tom told me was you have to get a hold of Jason Alex and walk to town with him, and he'll make a determination what ramps stay and what ramps go.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, and I'm sure the borough engineer will correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought part of the discussion was that the county will pay for the ramp portion, but if a grade correction was necessary on the sidewalks extending from that ramp, then that would be the responsibility of the borough. And I thought you had indicated that because of the new federal requirements, that there might be a lot of that would happen, and that would include not only the new sidewalk, but also any restoration that might take place on private property as well as the public right-of-way as
You're
well.
going to have restoration, you're going to have, obviously, if you've seen some of the new ramps that we've done on Howland, you'll see a header curb, and if you go to other towns, you'll see a header curb that's put in order to make the grade change, because the ramp is obviously much lower. So in order to get back to that corner, usually you put in some sort of a header curb. So you have that cost. You have the curb in front, the curb in back, and you have to go further because you got to get back to meet the existing sidewalk and grade. So it becomes, it used to be maybe 10 square yards. Now you're probably 15 to 20 square yards. So the cost of the ramp goes up accordingly.
But my point is, I think there's an open question as to how much of that the county will pay for,
No question.
you know.
And if you read this closely, they'll pay for the ramp on the county road. What happens when it goes around the corner, because it's
Right.
all on local streets? At what point is the line of demarcation that they say, okay, well, this is the county road, and now the other half of the ramp is the town's, the municipality's jurisdiction, and it's their cost? I mean, if you, again, they cite a statute in here that says that the sidewalks under this statute are the responsibility of the municipality. I didn't look up the statute. I probably should have sent it to Tom this afternoon, and maybe he can research it.
Could you say that, read that again, please? Something about the sidewalks?
If I can find it.
So my point is that, you know, perhaps the whole amount is not reimbursable by the county, and the council should have an expectation that there'll be a municipal portion that will have to be put in. Now, on our portion, if we reconstruct something, then a case could be made for a special assessment against the homeowner for that new construction, which we've always had a tradition of doing for the past 40-some-odd years. So,
Alan, if I could just get, basically the resolution that was adopted by the freeholders in 2012, resolution number 677-12, it says, whereas public sidewalks are a municipal responsibility inasmuch as the county's road responsibility is limited to the improved road areas from curb face to curb face, as set forth in NJSA 27:16-8. So I think what they're saying is that just the pavement, just the roadway is the responsibility of the county. I'm not sure how that, if that's what it actually says in that statute. If it does, then that's that.
In real dollars, the $300,000 that was mentioned, you would need a down payment of $15,000 out of your capital improvement fund. That's not available. We have about $1,000 in the capital improvement fund. That could be budgeted next year in 2014, you know, if this is a program that you want to enter into. But I think you need a much better estimate of what the cost will be. And I think you need your borough engineer to work with the county and raise these issues and come up with a realistic number.
It doesn't seem like the county's willing to replace the curbing along the county road.
No. I mean, this happened to us on Midland Avenue. The county said, we're coming in to pave. And they called Alan, they called me, it's your responsibility to make sure that the contractor does what he's supposed to do. And I don't know if some of the council people remember this. The contractor they hired didn't put in the right amount of concrete. All of the ramps were ripped out. Basically, I was there, I sent inspectors there. This became a whole situation. However, the performance bond and guarantees went back to the county of Bergen, not to the borough of River Edge. I had no contract with anybody, and I probably didn't have the ability to stop a job until he got to rip out what he put in. Yet, the onus was on the town to do so. So from that, they came out with this document and entered in where we would use their contractor, because I think that the contract was actually bid by the county. So we don't have to use their contractor, but they said you can, and you will enter into a contract with them. This way, we can be the responsible party in order to inspect and tell them you did it right or wrong and ultimately accept it. But I think the best thing to do is probably get a meeting with the county, sit down with Joe Femi, get county council involved, and say, what does this really mean? Okay, obviously have Tom there. What is our responsibilities? What is it you want us to do? And if we do this, what is it you're going to do at some point?
All right.
That would be my recommendation if you want to go forward.
All right, we can set that up. Any questions for Mr. Costa? Casey?
You mentioned something about the municipality with the responsibility of the sidewalks.
Well, again, this
667 something they're saying. statute.
2716-8. But what I think needs to be done is if Mr. Sarlo can look at that statute and see, you know, tell us exactly what it says and what the responsibility is of the county.
I think the county needs to come out with guidelines for the entire county, because this issue's coming up
It's
in multiple towns, and
Yes.
in multiple towns is having a different take on what is being discussed and what is being told to other towns, because I'm familiar with other towns going through the same situation, and they're being told something different. So,
All right. Yes.
With the county paving, let's say Kennebunk Road, they are required, if I've read the ADA laws properly, if there's a ramp there, it is to be replaced by county or state, whatever it might be.
That's the whole purpose of Mr. Costa's
Yes.
appearance today, is that...
This is what I'm saying, that I've read.
Is that the federal
If
money...
I understand it properly, I don't know.
Yeah, is that, you know, the county has $8 million of federal money, but they can't repave the county road unless
Just
they...
like the sidewalks, though, the
Yeah.
discussions we've had before.
Unless they put in all of the ADA compliant ramps.
They have to.
Yeah, they have to.
You can't just put one at this corner and nothing down at the others.
Mhm.
They all have to be replaced, along with the curbs if they're not into specification in height, I think you were saying before.
All right, Mr. Costa, we making any progress on the retaining wall?
The last correspondence that I had was Friday afternoon by Arthur Neese, who spoke to Mr. Corriston, who said that they're now going to go back to not the gravity wall, they're going back to a L-shaped retaining wall, but no plans have
A wall
shown
in
up.
front of the wall, or remove
The
the old
wall
wall?
in front of the wall.
All right, I thought I saw along the way an email about taking down the old wall and then putting a new one up?
Wednesday, the old wall was coming down and going in the crusher. That was Wednesday afternoon, and the plans would be on my desk no later than Friday. By Friday afternoon, that changed, and Arthur called me and said, this is what they're doing because of the geotechnical engineer's recommendations. So all I said was, Arthur, could you ask Mr. Carson to have the who he is, have him call me, have him send me a one-sentence something. Today's Monday. Nothing has shown up.
All right.
Maybe we should have a hologram of the wall.
You'd rather do a poured wall in front of the wall?
They're going to pour. Again, that's the way. I have not seen a plan yet. So I think this week is going to be the week where all of this heats up and enough is enough.
All right.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Down there.
on an incline.
Oh, was there something, are you here to speak about the drainage issue on Voorhees?
We had a meeting last week.
Yes, Mayor, we discussed it at Sewer Subcommittee. Mr. Koska talked about his recommendations.
Clean out the pipe. From where we actually did the work, from there south, there's definitely built up silt and sediment in that pipe. And it needs to be thoroughly cleaned.
But Mayor, if I may, and the minutes from the subcommittee will be coming out, but, the subcommittee recognizes that this will still not resolve extraordinary storms. What it will do is relieve the ponding, we hope, will relieve the ponding much more efficiently. The cost would be about $20,000, which we don't have in operating or capital. It's an operating expense. So we will have to pass an emergency appropriation to provide the funding for that. Mr. Costa's office has already been searching out quotations for that work.
All right. We would need opinion from Mr. Costa as to whether this is a health or safety issue.
I stated with emails that I sent to Rental State tonight, I think this needs to be done. And I would say it should be done now, not later.
Okay.
Just had one question. So, we go and clean it out. Now, the residents are coming in, and some of them are knowledgeable about pipes and such, and they believe that it's the T part of it that's creating the backup.
Turbulent flow?
Yeah.
Could be.
And they said that, now where there was 2 drains, there's 4, so now there's 4 places for everything to surge.
It's backing up quicker now.
Yeah.
No. There's a restriction downstream, whether it's at Woodland or Wayne Avenue rather, whether it's at Wayne or in the reach of pipe where we are from Voorhees to Kensington. But there's definitely a lot of sediment in there. Now, the second alternate was to get that box and make that box much larger where all of those pipe networks come in. But that's not what it is. You have a restriction that's holding it back. Also, that storm that just occurred was probably close to 4 inches of rain in an hour. 3 inches is a 100-year storm. If it was actually 4 inches, you're in excess of a 100-year storm. These pipes can probably handle a 25-year storm.
But now these 500-year storms, 100-year storms,
Well,
they're coming quicker and more frequently.
They seem to be happening, obviously, much more often than...
It's not
I mean, the
100
weather
years.
patterns are changing. There's no question about it, right?
100.
No, but it doesn't mean that. The 500-year storm means there is 5 times the probability of occurring versus a 100-year storm.
A 100-year storm has a 1% chance of
100
occurring
years
any
ago.
given year.
Right.
Yes, it's not every 100 years.
Did you see the pictures from the last?
So now everything is
It
becoming
was cars.
500 years.
Do you really think the cleaning, is really the best thing?
Based on our committee meeting last week, John Lynch was actually out there during the storm, went downstream of where it happened, and downstream, in his opinion, there was capacity in the brook. So if there was capacity in the brook, then obviously there's a restriction from that point, from those 2 points. Certainly, if there's a pipe that's half filled with sediment and debris, if it gets clean, obviously that'll help. Will it fix it? I think I said in the past, this is not going to be the fix for those type of events. It's not. It will not do it.
All right. More question here, please?
Yes.
Would you recommend putting more inlets? Because right now, I mean, that's going to be the restriction on those heavy storms, getting the water into the pipes, and then it's compounded by the fact that there's a capacity issue, but getting water into the system is also a problem.
You figure one inlet could handle, depending on the amount, probably 6 cubic feet per second going into it. What happened there, I think those pipes actually, they surcharged because you could not push enough water through those pipe networks that came in. So it surcharged back. Obviously, Voorhees is the lowest area, and it came up to that, when it's seeked that level, in order to then push it through. From what I was told, and I wasn't there, once the storm ended, the water evacuated extremely quickly, where I think in the past it didn't, because you would have to wait for all of that to go down to get through the 24-inch opening. Now you're emptying into the large elliptical opening. So I think the best course at this point is to clean the pipe, remove any restrictions that are in the stream, and then we're going to look at Wayne Avenue, where that culvert is, and see if that ultimately can be the geometry changed or widened. I think that's the next course of action.
Do we
Okay.
have to make a motion to
Well,
get this going?
someone has to make a motion for a resolution for an emergency appropriation.
I'll make the motion for emergency appropriations to clean out this pipe.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Heard from our engineer. Any further discussion? Roll call, Denise?
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilman Estrada?
Yes.
Councilman Mignon?
Yes.
Councilman Bartoloni?
Yes. Okay, we'll put it on the agenda. Thank you, Mr. Costa.
Mr. Mayor?
Thank you very much.
Okay, have a good night.
All right. I see in the audience, we have Mr. Patel here to speak on the borough HVAC replacement. How are you, Mr. Patel?
Good evening, Mayor. How are you? And Councilwoman and Councilman. As you see, we have produced the drawings ready for bid, specification and drawings, as promised by the date which we agreed on. And we are on target with the following dates, which we must follow now. And the important thing is that October 1 is a standout date by which we must have contractor on board. So from now on, we must get the bid out. I would allow about 3 weeks for bid to be submitted, for contractor to price a job. And we will have probably 2 weeks after the bid to make sure that paperwork gets all on board. After that, we should be going.
Okay.
So that's the plan.
Kathleen?
Thank you for coming, Mr. Patel. We had a look at your plans in the back there, and there was a few questions that Councilman Mignon also brought up as far as being more detailed about your schedule and what is going to happen. Will the staff have to leave the building? Will there be a lot of disruption to the day-to-day business? I mean, what is to be expected?
Yes. I do call for, in my summary of works, if you look at the specification,
It's not very detailed.
it's not detailed in the sense that we want them to do a weekend work too. And I hope you allow them to work during weekend. Is that something I just took a liberty on that?
No, weekends are fine.
Yeah.
We'd much rather that the work was done.
So we do tell them that they have to.
Especially is there any, did your preliminary assessment or investigation reveal any pipes that are covered with any asbestos or anything like that have to be,
Not to my knowledge, no,
Okay,
no.
good.
We are abandoning certain pipes when we cut them and then leave them. We are removing pipes in the basement wherever we have access to them. And as far as I can see, we really don't want to give contractor means and methods to do it, because that's not we were supposed to do, because then we will be hampering his, we will be stepping into his domain, you could call it. He had the 90 days to do the job. We gave him the parameters that building is occupied. He can work during weekends, and he has to meet the schedule. Now, he can obviously coordinate with us. Then I'm going to work here in this room. Can you give us a full freedom in that area, and so on, in different rooms. Something you may have to accommodate that.
Okay.
Now, Mayor, I've stated this for the record before, but administratively, our departments have major concerns about how they will operate, when they will operate, whether there'll be dust and noise, and how the public will be served. So I think we need a meeting, a major meeting, to sit down and really develop a full understanding of what demolition will occur, when it will occur. Will they be working behind some sort of a screening device and we can continue on as if nothing was happening, or will we have to evacuate the room while that's going on?
Right.
And try and set up a parallel, service for the public.
Right.
We have that responsibility, and
Right.
This project, I have to tell you, will not move forward unless we can continue to serve the public the
Right.
way we must.
Okay. Well, something I agree we should sit down.
Yes,
However,
we need a meeting.
under demolition section of the specification, do spell out what they have to do, how to control dust, noise, and so on.
Yeah, but we don't have an understanding of what that means to our services.
Okay.
So we would appreciate...
I would like to do that, because I don't know how you function the building.
Right. We need to explain that.
Which area you like to keep it open and when, and accordingly we can dictate that in the summary of works quickly. That should be not a problem.
Okay.
Ed, can you just give us an example, like for this room, for example? You're going to have to rip all the old pipe is coming out, correct?
Yeah.
So you'd have to cut
We have
along all the walls?
we have to remove all the fan coil. We have to remove all the enclosures out. We have to do the outside grill louvers. We replacing those also. So, and when they bring the new pipes from below, that would be another issue. They have to bring the pipe from the basement down up. So there'll be sort of two-part function before the job gets finished here. But they can finish most of the work here and then continue down to...
But for demo, we're literally talking about from the baseboard up to wherever the pipe is, cutting it out, taking all the wall material out, taking the pipe out, and then putting the new pipe in, and then closing the wall back up.
Correct.
So it's pretty invasive, and that's what Alan needs to know, particularly in some of the other areas where there's more people working. Like, are we going to lose access to this room for meetings? I think those are the kind of things that we need to understand.
Yeah, it is possible. At the same time, this kind of we can dictate to a point in the document what we want, but other way to do is to meet the contractor and say, give me your schedule, how are you going to work this project, and in that schedule we can sort of tell him how he has
But
to.
the only fear I have with that is that if we run into problems and then we're going to get cited for delays or something, if Alan says, no, we can't do it then, and he's going to say, well, I told you I needed to vacate, whatever, and then,
Right.
we don't want to get into where he's going to, give us cite us for delays later on.
I think, like Alan said, we should sit down and just understand how you want the building to be not disrupted, or disrupted, you would call it, and we can sort of outline our requirements in the specification, but the rest is up to the contractor, and we do give him a full choice to work at weekend and night even if he has to work. So that's the choice we have given.
To me, the problem is that the contractor doesn't know how the town operates. So he has to receive a basic list of instructions so that he can structure his bid response accordingly.
I agree.
So if we agree, what Alan suggested is only the first meeting, then based on that meeting, you come up with a set of criteria that have to be part of the contract documents.
Yeah.
So otherwise, we're asking the contractor to take shots in the dark, which opens us up to being liable for change orders, change of scope work, which is the first flag that's raised at every public job. They underbid the job because they know they're going to make their money on change orders. So, yeah, we're being nice and everything else, but it comes, now is the time that we have to hedge our own bet.
Right. I agree.
These drawings cannot go out to bid the way they are. We have to tell the contractors what we expect of them, not the other way around. See what the response is, and then we react. I think we need to be proactive. It starts with the meeting with Alan. That generates a list of criteria, as I said before. Contractor goes out to bid, responds to the bid, then there's going to be a follow-up meeting before the contract is awarded to make sure that the low bidder, when we qualify the low bidder, understands what he's getting himself into.
Right.
Because ultimately who's going to suffer here is all the people that work in this building. They have to put up with this, but it's change for the good.
Right.
But we need to be as clear as we can, and this is the time. I'm really not interested that we go out to bid October 1st or October 7th or whatever the date is, but I'm more interested that we include a minimum amount of provision in the contract documents that safeguard our interests, not the contractor or anybody else. They're bidding.
Yeah.
If they think it's too complicated, they will not bid.
Right, there are two things. One is a technical document, and the one we're talking about is where he has access, or it's a phasing problem.
But Mr. Patel, but allow me to disagree with you. To me, it's a project.
Right.
The project has a lot of components.
Right.
This project, a very special components of this project will be the phasing of the work. I want to make sure that the bidders have a clear understanding, and I'm going to say it again, of what they're getting themselves into. Because I don't want to be here and listening to people putting in for change orders because unless it's unforeseen existing conditions,
Right.
I really don't want to consider anything else. So, yes, this is the time to...
Why don't we sit down and I show you what we have on
I
the
can't
doc-
sit down with you, I'm a councilman.
No,
Otherwise,
okay. Whenever
we go into...
whoever wants to sit down with me.
But it's something we touched upon when
But have
we
you
met.
looked at my summary of works document?
But it's not sufficient. The project is too complicated. The summary of work needs to become a part of the general conditions and general requirements of the project. General requirements of the project that are special and unique to this project.
Right.
Not boilerplate notes.
It's not boilerplate notes.
I'm not saying they are,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm talking about
Yeah,
also.
yeah.
I think we speak the same language.
Right.
I want to see a set of notes that are specifically tailored to this project.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to cover everything, I'll tell you that right now.
I
But at
understand.
least,
Yes.
let's have
So
something that
we don't know
that Alan can go to sleep, and instead of waking up in the middle of the night, he'll wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Same here, for me too.
You too, so
Of course.
that's all.
Vito is correct with the change of orders. Seems like
Oh,
some
I
people
agree.
have a lot of, they like to do that a lot.
I'm in this business myself more than
Yeah.
you guys. So no,
It's better to be more accurate than
I
change
agree.
orders.
Well, I mean, that's-
But this
that
is more
statement is relative.
this is more a phasing problem rather than a technical problem. And the phasing issue, as Alan said, we have to let the bidders know what are the requirements for this building to be operated and not disturbed or disturbed. And something we need to spell that out. That's something we can do very easily, not a big deal.
There is some work that has to be done on weekends.
Yeah.
So we need to identify what we expect the work to be. Is it going to end up costing us more? Yeah, because weekend work is more expensive than
Of course.
daily work,
Yeah.
but is it really going to cost us more?
Right.
It's going to make people working under less duress than
Oh, yeah.
they normally would.
Yeah, yeah. On one of my projects recently, I just dictated that they work only certain weekends only, between Friday and Monday, that's it.
Mr. Patel,
But certain
fortunately,
amount-
this is
certain type
not
of
a
work,
school
yeah.
project,
Yeah.
so we don't have that Damocles sword hanging
Right.
over our head, but
Right.
still, it has to be articulated in such a way that,
Right.
we'll feel good when it goes out to bid, not that we're doing it by the seats of our
Absolutely.
pants.
I agree with you.
Once we leave the technical merits of the
Right.
project, I don't mean doing the seats of our pants as far as,
Right.
you seem to have been thorough in your investigation of the existing condition, as well as in the requirements of what the new work should be.
Right.
Now we have to take care of the special requirements of this
Sure.
project.
Sure.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, there is,
Question?
on the, wait a minute, on the resolution list at the 8 o'clock meeting is a resolution to authorize the clerk to go out to bid. Are we,
I think we should table that.
are we keeping that on? Are we amending it? Denise?
Mayor, if you leave it on, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna go out to bid. It's just that it's there, so when the time comes and you said, yeah, Denise, we're ready to go out to bid, it's been approved.
But I don't know, if I'm comfortable, if Vito's comfortable signing the plans now.
I'm not
You want
signing these
you want that
plans.
as a condition, right? So,
Otherwise, we have to attach the recording of what I just said to my signature on these plans.
Is it the resolution state?
So-
It's the general. Okay.
I think we need to table it.
Okay.
Can you say it?
The plans are well underway, now we have to take that extra step, which is for our own interests, I think.
All right, Mr. Patel.
Correct.
You have a general understanding of where we're going?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
And in order to revise the plan, if you need to sit down with Mr. Aquafredo or Mr. Mignon or Alan, be my guest.
Sure,
Any other-
we'll make a arrangement, Alan, and we'll sit down.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Mr. Patel?
Next
All right,
week.
thank you, Mr. Patel.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You had
Thank
one
you.
comment you wanted to make?
Yes, a question for a comment, whatever you want to call it, for everybody here on this. The town's going to have their own, like, foreman, along with Mr. Patel's, going to have his company have a foreman, and they're going to have, like, instructions for putting a model together. You got to follow those instructions. At 8 o'clock, my men will start working. At 8:30, we will have all the pipes out of here. This way, the people down below know exactly what time they have to move their computer or something.
Yeah, okay.
You know, that,
We got it.
it's simple, just, you know, thinking common sense. No sense in squeezing apples and hoping for orange juice.
All right, thank you, Mr. Patel.
Thank you.
No borough administrator topics in the work session that I can see on the agenda.
Bobby's back there for the lightning.
There's no-
Yes. What?
No.
No, we have for discussion, the lightning detection system. We have our recreation director here, Bobby. I know that we hit a glitch. Bobby, why don't you come up for a second? I know that the components of the system were installed.
Yes.
We couldn't hook it up to the OEM computer, right?
That's not quite so.
Oh.
We're ready to go. The glitch is that the computer in the OEM would not take the software
Yeah.
for texting and notifying to smartphones. Has nothing to do with activating the system. We can activate the system, and later when the computer is installed, then that system, the software, will send messages text-wise or to smartphones. You can still activate the system without having that computer.
Okay, all right.
So we're good to go,
Uh-huh.
and the reason for the memo that was sent out is for your approval of the notification that's going to the residents, because it's a strong worded notification. And I wanted the approval of the mayor and council, or the commission did, so that we can notify the residents, and we can put this on the website, we can put in the town news, on Nixle, and get the system activated. The signs are ready
Okay.
to be installed. As soon as we get the notification out and the signs up, we'll activate.
I didn't see the form of the notification.
It's in a memo that was sent out to the mayor's council.
It's going to be blanketed through various media. Nixle, Town News.
Town News,
Yeah.
website,
Uh-huh.
yes.
Yeah, that's the
I mean, I can read it to you. Basically, it's a compilation of the Paramus and Ridgewood notification to their residents. They've had their system up over a year. So it's a compilation. It's basically telling the borough residents that the system, how it works, and what they are to do when it goes off. And it's a mandate.
Okay.
It tells you where to go and what to do, and where the sirens are and when the system is activated, which is 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., coordinating with the fire alarms. So this is the mandate from the borough, and that's why I needed your approval to go forth with this.
All right.
Question. The 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., does it have to be that time?
The fire department asked that it coordinate with their fire alarms.
Why?
Well, you may have someone walking their dog in the park at 6:30, and it may go off. 11 o'clock, the men and women play softball down at the KBG until 11 o'clock. So that's why the extended time from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m.
And the siren is the same as...
No.
What's-
The siren is a different siren. It's a very high pitch. It lasts 18 seconds.
Mhm.
Then it goes off and the strobe light comes on. The strobe light stays on for 30 minutes. If there's another strike during that 30 minutes, it goes on for another 30 minutes until the all clear is sounded by a fog horn. It's a fog horn release. So the siren is not like a fire alarm. It's a very high pitched notification.
And how loud is it?
It's very loud. It's extremely loud. You can, well, the extension of as far as the siren being heard, I heard the high school siren go off, and I'm 4 blocks away from the high school. So it's you can hear it for several blocks.
I just had, I did speak to the OEM, Stewart, and we had a technology meeting Monday, so we were discussing the computers and how old their computer is and the need to have this modern computer, which we gave him the specs this week, so they can actually go buy one.
Okay.
That, he said that everything has to be recorded, and it's going to be, has to be a stationary computer that's in the OEM in order to record the information.
It's a software program. I actually have it down in my office.
Yeah.
We can just load it on. It just needs to be updated because it would not take the software.
Yeah, it was so old, but now he has the specs to go and get this new computer, so...
That'd be great, yeah. And at that point then, the text will go out to anyone who wants to receive the text. It'd be the coaches, the DPW superintendent, the fire department, police department. It'll send a text out.
If you already sign up with Nixle, you'll get this as well?
Well, that's something that goes through the police department, I believe. So I can't say that would occur. We'd have to put the names into the computer, or the emails into the computer in OEM for it, for it to go out.
So I make a motion to allow Bobby and Recreation Department to notify the residents about the lightning detection system. Anybody else?
What?
I just made a motion. You know,
I'll second your motion.
All right, there's just a motion there's a motion and a second. We can discuss it. Ed, Al, you had a question?
Yeah, I just had a question. In terms of the manufacturer, they have a recommended language that they suggested, or this is just, like you said, a compilation of 2 other towns?
It's a compilation of 2 other towns who've had their lightning system in existence for the last year or 2. And then the signage was, that I have listed here in the memo, was taken from 2 towns, Mawa, the borough of Mawa, and also Marlborough Township, and the signage wording rather.
Okay.
So, but basically what we're looking at is letting the residents know what it means to take appropriate action.
Mhm.
And that appropriate action is listed here.
All right.
Just one other question.
Yes.
If Mr. Sarlo has any concerns regarding the language?
I didn't
don't-
see that language. The last I saw was the actual agreement, the shared services agreement, so I don't think I went through that, but it seems like it's...
Yes.
That
I
would be
gave
the-
Denise the wording, you're gonna put it up on the
I
website?
gave it to them, I just gave it to Mayor, I'll get it back.
What's also another, I mean, I'm sure your tax bills already went out, but what's another good thing to get it at is maybe next year through your tax bills, send this out, and you know it's gonna hit every homeowner. This is fine. It seems very similar.
Okay.
No problem.
A motion and a second to go out with the public notification. Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilman Capretto?
Yes.
Councilman McMillan?
Yes.
Councilman Bartoloni?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very
And,
much.
And while you're here, the interlocal agreement, that was sent out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're waiting for the other entities to sign the interlocal agreement and order their equipment and get it hooked up.
Okay, in the meantime, we will be hooked up and activated. Okay, as soon as we get the signs up and this goes on to the website, and then we'll get it activated.
Thank you, Bob.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
All right, well, Mayor's Wellness Campaign. You want to go on this one?
Yeah.
Good.
I did forward Denise the paperwork that needs to be filled out in order for us to use the NBC room. I don't know if you had a chance to fill that out?
I didn't know I was supposed to right away.
Um,
I did the motion second.
So our Mayor's Wellness Campaign will kick off on Friday, September 27th at 7 p.m. at the NBC Project Room. The group will be led by River Edge resident and Goals Fitness Director for 21 years, Eileen Tessalone. This will be combined with the Biggest Loser contest headed by registered nurse and ambulance corps member Neve Van Means, and a walking and nutrition counseling program is also scheduled. More details to come, but Friday, September 27th at 7 o'clock, we're going to start our program at the NBC Project Room.
Very good. Basically, you know, we don't have a community center yet, so we need space to have these, to have the Mayor's Wellness Campaign. I know we tried to get Zumba in the park. If the Board of Ed was good enough to allow the borough free use of the NBC room every Friday?
Yep.
Every Friday, so we would be looking in the future to fill in those events with any other kind of physical activity. So we're going to begin with Ms. Tessalone, who's a resident and a trainer. But if we can get other personal trainers in there, or yoga or Zumba, if it gets to be popular, we can charge a very modest admission fee and put that towards special events, and that's what I would like to...
Right now, the program's being offered at no charge.
Yeah.
So everyone's volunteering their time to participate. And we're also investigating a cash prize to the Biggest Loser.
Cash prize? Wow.
Yep. Incentive.
Okay.
So I just need that paperwork, and then when I submit that, we're ready to go.
So, all right, is,
I didn't realize you wanted me to do it, I didn't know exactly what you wanted me to do.
There's something with the insurance policy that has to be filled out that the school needs.
the borough is actually going to fill out the application and hold harmless.
Right.
So it has to be done with council approval.
So I make a motion to proceed with our fitness program and use the Newbridge Center School.
I'll second that.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I at one point, Kathleen, if you can just forward that information to Bonnie Stewart, because some of those activities may be eligible under the Sustainable Jersey for future points.
For what?
The Sustainable Jersey program, the Mayor's Wellness is one of the
Points?
categories, yes,
Nice.
so for future points. So I don't know if the activities exactly line up, but give her the information so at least she's aware that we're doing this.
Okay, 2 items on the consent agenda. Can I have a motion to adopt those 2 items?
We're going to table item 2.
We're going to table item 2?
Yeah, I'd make a motion to table item 2.
Second.
Motion to table is a second. All in favor of
Second.
tabling? All
Aye.
in favor of tabling?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. For the chief to begin the hiring process for a new police officer. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, unfinished business. Any questions regarding the capital report? Grove Street, we have a resolution, we have a second reading of the ordinance this evening to allow the permits to be extended to businesses. Valley Road.
I think that could come off, Mayor?
That's already done.
Okay. Valley Road is done, can come off. Bus shelters, are we making any progress?
I have to check to see whether they were in town or not.
Okay.
John Lynch has demolished the
Yep.
standing
Yeah.
bus shelters.
Okay. HVAC we did, and fire sirens, that was the emergency repairs, correct?
Yes, check the fire chief.
We signed the bills for tonight.
I had a few questions.
Any questions on unfinished business?
Yes.
Okay.
We had discussed getting the credit card for certain employees. Because when going through the bills, I see that some people are still paying for things on their personal credit card. So do we make any kind of advancement on what we talked about in the finance
Yeah, I
committee?
think what I had originally said was that Citibank, who holds the contract now, is up for renewal or a change in September or October of this year. So they've advised us not to move forward with a vendor until the state straightens out who their contract is going to be with. In addition, I do have to come up with the rules and regulations for the departments, which I'm still reading, educating myself on, and we'll have something back to the council at the appropriate
Because
time.
just going through the bills, when you see so many people putting their own money out on their own credit cards and waiting for a month for reimbursement, it just seems kind of bad accounting practices.
Councilwoman, that is the system that is allowed by the state of New Jersey. Reimbursement is one of the things that is allowed. Now, these departments, if they can work with a vendor who will accept our purchase order is a legitimate contract of the borough, that's another way that this can occur. So, I know it's not preferable, but it is one of the
Well,
ways
one
that
of
we
the
operate.
examples would be, I just looked through the bills and I see that there was purchases from Rec to Costco. Now, it says there's some purchase orders to Costco, and then there are some personal expenses. So why wouldn't all of it be purchase order?
You'd have to ask the recreation director whether she had an immediate need, and maybe they wouldn't take some of those things on the Costco card. I'm not sure.
The utility audit, how are we doing on that?
I have the contract committee made some changes to the contract. We sent a proposed contract to Mr. Coteen, the representative there. Didn't seem like he had any problems with it. We reduced it, I believe, from 36 months to 24 months. Indicated he was going to get it back to me. I'll follow up and get a signed copy so we can sign it, and then you guys got to get him the documents to go. So I'll have that by next meeting.
Mayor, if I may, the documents of all of the bills have already been duplicated and are ready to go upon signing of the contract. The Finance Committee has gotten that all together. The Finance Department has gotten that all together.
All right, great.
John Smart, any news about him? Haven't heard anything from him?
I haven't heard anything.
Haven't heard anything.
The ADA doors are completed?
Well, I've spoken with Community Development Block Grant, and they told me about a week ago that in a few weeks they'll schedule their final inspection. We still have two components that are, actually a few components that are outstanding. The saddles that have been put in, I've asked the architect to give us a certification that the doors meet the Americans with Disabilities Act on their letterhead. If they will do that, then we will have a change order to reduce the contract, because if you remember, we were going to install a new concrete pad on Borough Hall. We were going to reduce some of the brickwork here. The depending on the level of the saddle. So I'm looking for that certification. In addition, there may be one other change order reducing the scope of the bid. I think that's what I understood. So there is a little bit more to be done on the doors, but the doors are up and running, they're operational.
Casey complimented us on the function of the doors.
So it's the paperwork and then getting the
Sorry, but a
reimbursement
few more
from
things.
block grant.
Also, we got a notice about road repairs happening on the 7th. Is that Fifth Avenue?
No, that's the Riverside Cooperative Road Resurfacing project.
Where are they working?
We'll send you the list of streets.
And also, just had a question about the school tax. The last meeting, we gave 2 checks for the $800,000. One is held, you said, in their safe. Now we just have 2 more checks that we just gave them for $2 million to River Edge and $3 million for Riverdale. So how does that whole system work when they have the schedule that they show us of the payments?
Yeah, they do come out with a schedule, but depending on our cash flow, if we have the cash, we certainly stick to the schedule and we provide them with those checks. If we are experiencing cash flow problems, which we are certain times during the year, the schools have been very cooperative about taking that payment in maybe 2 parts. So while you approve the full payment to them, we hold one of the checks in the safe for a couple of days until we accumulate additional cash. Now, by doing it that way, that's in lieu of me just going out and issuing tax anticipation notes and paying interest on that notes for a timely payment. As I say, our gratitude goes to the schools for their cooperative nature in terms of working with us and accepting payments on a partial basis.
And also one other question about Mr. Polici's bill. He submitted a bill for $7,500. 400 were for the plans that we should ask from now on, only one set of plans. But is there any way to ask him for a breakdown of his, like an invoice? When I went to speak to Dara today, he was up there for an hour. So is there some sort of breakdown that he can provide us about his hourly?
We could ask for a diary of his services, but typically, some of these, architectural or engineering are done by phases. So when they complete a phase, that's when we receive the bill.
Is he billing us according to a payment schedule?
Yes, I think he had a proposal and he billed us according to the proposal schedule.
We don't need any minutiae.
All right. Anything else, Councilman?
Yes, you can't get minutia from
Make
architects.
it part of his contract. Join my world.
It's a lump sum.
Yeah, we kill another tree. We'll print out exactly what he did every minute of every day, like
That doesn't kill trees when you submit it through the internet.
Eileen, join the 21st century, yeah?
Any other?
No, that's it for me.
All right, new business, any new business? Any member of council, new business, Kathleen?
I just want to tell everybody about the technology. We're on our way. We have the specs for the new computers from Patrick Fletcher's technology department was kind enough to provide us with modern computers and modern computer specs. So I did speak to the buildings department. They haven't ordered any computers yet. I asked her, because you see, Alan, you said that she seemed to be in dire need of a new computer. She had no idea of how to go about ordering one.
Mayor, as far as I know, she's most interested in ordering the Mitchell Humphrey software, which will provide the building department program as well as the property maintenance. I looked at the funding today. She's a little short on the funding for the software. We didn't anticipate the property maintenance at the time we were making the request. We'd like to do that because we know it's important to support the property maintenance function. We're going to take a little bit from the mayor and council's line. We're going to send you a memo explaining that, and she's going to go forward as long as the present hardware meets those specifications, the software specifications. At the appropriate time, when she upgrades her hardware, then this software will be transferred over to the new hardware.
I had one more quick thing, sorry. It's about the police reserves, and this is one of the residents whose son just became a police reserve told us that their uniforms are paid for by themselves. Would that be correct?
We have the police chief in the audience, Mayor. Perhaps he could respond to that
Said that
question.
he had to pay like $800 for his own gear. Do they pay for their own stuff, the police reserve?
No, that's a subsidy. I don't have the name. I'll talk to you later, but there's a subsidy, there's a line item in the budget to cover reserve uniforms. There was an independent request for a change in uniform, however, that was agreed upon, and some of that may have been handled with, but that would have been outside of what we're doing. And that was an agreement that was made with.
So that's only one person?
Excuse me?
That was just one person that made that request?
No, I'd have to look at who you have, we do that, separately. I'll address what went into it, but that's not the standard practice. It may have something to do with the uniform change, but there is a line item for it.
Yeah, but I see that we ordered hats for them, but I see that we ordered hats for them, but this person came to us saying that their uniforms were not covered.
I'd have to know more about it before I address it, but I'll speak to you about it.
Chief, could you give us a list of the reserves and their anniversary dates? Because I think some of them have been with us for several decades, and we'd like to properly honor them at their anniversary.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me quickly open the hearing let me quickly, for the record, recognize that Councilman Anthony Capola is now present. I'll also like to recognize that former Mayor Graylock is present in the audience. How are you, Mayor? Former Mayor? Can I open the hearing to the public? Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Just quickly, we're being open to the public so we could then go into the 8 o'clock session, which has begun. If any member of the public would like to speak, they can simply give us their name and address and address the council. Can I have a motion to close the work session to the public?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, can I have a motion to adjourn the work session?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, let's go right into the 8 o'clock meeting.
Yeah, that's why.
Everybody can come in and sit down.
I said that one.
All right, there's plenty of seats. There's plenty of seats. Find a seat. Find a seat. Come on, everybody can sit down. Here we go. All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. This is the meeting of the River Edge Mayor and Council for Monday, August the 5th, 2013. The time is now approximately 8 p.m. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and attend any meetings of public bodies which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with this act, Mayor and Council of the Borough of River Edge have caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place posted in the Borough Hall, and notices were sent to the record and the Ridgewood News. The mission of this governing body is to provide essential services through the establishment and implementation of public policy to safeguard the infrastructure, providing courteous, honest, and professional services establishing a sense of trust and accomplishment with our residents. We do this through research and prudent planning. We are sensitive to the needs of the taxpayer while realizing that the governing body cannot be all things to all people due to the revenue constraints that are imposed by state mandates, present economic conditions, and prevailing attitudes about taxation. Can I ask everybody to please stand for a moment of silent prayer or reflection? Can I get Lieutenant Richard Curran to lead us in a salute to the flag?
Certainly, Your Honor. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Denise, can I get a roll call?
Councilwoman Murphy?
Here.
Councilman Ackles?
Present.
Councilman Capola?
Here.
Councilman DeBrun?
Here.
Councilman Baldwin?
Here.
Councilman Papaleo? And Mayor Mascarotola?
Present. All right, thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the Mayor and Council work session and the regular meeting for July 1st, 2013?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the Mayor and Council work session of July 22nd, 2013?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained?
Abstain, Mayor.
Okay, we have one abstention from Councilman Mignon. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the Mayor and Council special meeting of July 22nd,
So moved.
2013? We have a
Second.
motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? Thank
Abstain,
you.
Mayor.
We have one abstention, Denise. All right, we have a sad day for River Edge today, but it's a very good day for a really a true member of the community. Lieutenant Richard Curran is going to get a plaque today for his 25 years of service just to the police department, as 30 years service to the fire department. I think 2 terms as chief, correct, Lieutenant? I know that Rich Curran's father served as the first Democratic mayor here in town. He was later elected as a Bergen County freeholder. I know that during Lieutenant Curran's term, Lieutenant, why don't you stand up here? Over here. I know that during his term as fire chief, he won, the department won the best overall trophy, right? I know his lovely wife Nancy's here, and he has 3 children, Katie, Timmy, and Jackie. His father would be very proud of him. I know he's retiring to Virginia to be with his North Carolina chiefs. North Carolina. With his in-laws and his grandchildren?
No, granddaughters, my oldest daughter.
You were sergeant from 2001 to 2009?
I believe so, yeah.
And then you were made lieutenant, right? Lieutenant of Operations. You served as vice president of the Bergen County Traffic Officers Association, a member of the Traffic and Safety Committee. I know you've been heavily involved in community policing throughout your term, especially during the Community Policing Initiative from 2009 to 2013. You're a founding member of the River Edge Honor Guard, a member of the selection committee for the River Edge Board of Ed Superintendent Search, and a member of the River Edge PD Hiring Committee. And local boy makes good. The man who could have been mayor. You ever
I look at my 8th grade yearbook. This is close enough.
All right. 1989 Meritorious Award for a house fire. 1990 Honorable Service Medal for the Bergen County Police Chief Association. 1998 River Edge PBA Meritorious Award for saving a life. The year 2000 Recognition Award by Hackensack Hospital. And I recall in 1999, there was a bank robbery right across the street here at the Chase Bank, and the getaway vehicle was a bicycle. And you chased the suspect into New Milford, where I think I was on a bench, and you disarmed him and arrested him. And he had a loaded weapon, right?
Yeah, a collaborative effort between Officer Wilhelm and Officer O'Malley of the Milford Police Department. But usually so we're on scene.
All right. So anyway, you're giving up your full-time job, and now your wife's full-time job is going to be you. So you're going to get double the husband and half the pay. So this plaque is presented to Lieutenant Richard Curran with our gratitude and appreciation upon his retirement from distinguished 25 years of service to the River Edge Police Department. The original member of the Honor Guard, EWI Dare, and Adopt a Cop coordinator, former PBA president, presented in recognition of your dedication to the protection and the safety of our residents by the Mayor and Council. Thank you.
My father's son, if I didn't have a few words, get relaxed and thank you, Mayor Moscow, to all the members of the council for this great honor this evening, this plaque, and I'd really like to thank all the mayors and councils that I had the privilege to serve with as a firefighter and a police officer here at River Edge. I would like to particularly recognize Mayor Bob Graylight, who I'm extremely proud is here this evening. That back in 1987, 88, when I got hired, there was a retention problem here in River Edge where officers were going back to their hometowns or they were following on, moving on to the county police department for greater opportunities. And Mayor Graylight made an effort at the time to reach out and to look to River Edge residents, young men and women at the time, to fulfill a police officer's job, and he really fought hard. And in 1988, he hired Jack Connolly, he hired Robbie Napastack, he hired Mike Walker, he hired myself, and his thought was that there would be retention, and his goal was achieved, because I'm proud to say that all of us have achieved 25 years of service to the Borough of River Edge, and I think that's a great honor to Mayor Graylight to look with that kind of foresight and look to see that we would retain police officers to serve our own communities that we grew up in and love. So it's a tribute to Mayor Graylight. The induction to the Hall of Fame the other night was really a good idea to watch how everybody did it and thanked everybody. First of all, if you watched it, you knew that people would be proud of you. So my parents, who are not here this evening, are watching from above. And I'm proud to have my wife Nancy here, one of my greatest supporters, my daughter Jackie, and my son and my daughter Katie, and her husband George, who are not here tonight because they're involved in their own endeavors to achieve great things, and I'm proud of them, and I know they're proud of me. And I promised I wouldn't do this, but I feel like one inside. I just want to share a quick story with you, and he's not here tonight, at least I don't see him, but I never wanted to be Dick Tracy. I didn't want to be a cop. I didn't live my dream to be a cop. A guy named Tom Farrell, who was a cop here, came to me one night, he was sitting at dinner with us, and he said, they're giving a test. I said, oh yeah? He goes, yeah, take the test. See if you get a job. And I needed a job at the time. I had a baby, and I wasn't making a lot of money. So one night he knocks on my door. It's about 11:30, quarter to 12. He just got off a 4 to 12 shift, and I opened the door,
He threw the application in, pulled the door closed, and said, fill it out. Next day, I filled it out, I handed it in to Eddie McDermott, 5 to 12, it was due at noon. Here I am, 25 years later. I don't know. But not to take any more time, as people in the audience that my family friends, close friends, that have been great supporters of mine through anything I've done in this town. I'm proud to be a resident of Riverhead, growing up in town, proud to be a police officer, proud to be a firefighter and ex-chief. There's guys in this audience, girls too, that we never probably would have saw been hired. We've reached a new goal, a new generation. And it's been a privilege to serve with all of the firefighters and all of the police officers. It's been a great brotherhood and sisterhood now, and I'm proud to be a part of that. And in conclusion, one of the greatest things that I want to put this in perspective, my dad and I always joke that we always did God's work on a daily basis. And that's how I felt about being a police officer and a firefighter, is that we do God's work on a daily basis. We don't have to go to church, we don't have to say prayers, we just do it because we love to do it for the people we serve. And again, in conclusion, I'd like to just steal a phrase from President Kennedy's inaugural speech that here on earth, God's work must truly be our own. Thank you very much. I'm proud to be here. I'm going to hang it. I got a 20 by 20 room, I can hang this in.
Sure, come on up, man.
Lieutenant Howard.
Want this?
That's all right. Nobody's gonna listen to me anyway. They don't do it anyway. One of the reasons we're here tonight is because we take police officers for granted in a way that we don't do what they do. When you think of it, over a career, how many Christmases, evenings, family affairs, things that all of us take for granted, they miss it because they're on their shift. And when they're on their midnight shift, they don't get overtime. That's just the way it is. And I think we realize it, but we never really tell them how much they give when we're home enjoying ourselves. And from someone who's used them several times late at night, when I have a problem, they're there within a couple minutes of what my call. And about 5 minutes later, the ambulance corps is there. And it's really very satisfying to know that we have somebody in town that's going to come to your house when you live alone within 3 or 5 minutes there. And it's really, I think that tonight I'm here to honor Lieutenant Curran, but also the police officers past and present that we love, but we never really think what they do on holidays and miss their families. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Jackie, come on.
Hey, get in here.
Okay, ready?
Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor, thank you again. Mayor, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, I know.
Stay. You know, while the getting's good. Okay. To expedite the next items on the agenda, the appointment and personnel changes. If there's any member of council who wants to pull out for separate discussion or vote, only the appointment or personnel changes that end with the retirement of Robert Mancuso, the court officer, we can do them individually. If not, we can do them by consent. I have a motion to approve the appointment and personnel changes that are listed on the agenda by consent.
So moved. Second.
There's a motion and a motion by Councilman Bartoloni, a second by Councilwoman Murphy. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Thank you. All right, there is various correspondence that is listed on the agenda, letters and notices that are on file in the Borough Clerk's office. Any member of the public who wishes to review or copy or read or anything regarding the notices can do so. In addition, there are monthly reports from the Health Department, Emergency Management, Fire Prevention, Historic Commission, Tax Collector, the Building Department, the Planning Board, the Zoning Board, the Fire and Ambulance Service, the Property Maintenance Officer, the Planning Board, the Police Department, and the Recreation Commission for the months of, I guess it's March through July, for various departments that are on file with the clerk's office and are open public records. There are no ordinances on for first reading this evening. There is one ordinance on for second reading, which is ordinance number 1792. No, there are two ordinances, 1792 and 1793. Denise, could you read the title to 1792?
Yes, Mayor, 1792 is ordinance regulating parking for Kennecott Road north of municipal businesses between Washington Avenue and Lincoln Avenue on Grove Street, commercial parking lot in Old River Edge, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey.
Okay. This ordinance is to amend our parking permit ordinance to allow for parking permits to be issued to businesses for a proposed parking lot on Grove Street that our borough engineer is in the process of designing. We're probably going to go out for some bids on the actual work. I know we need at least an easement from one of the property owners, Lou Grasso, who's here tonight. So this is part of the process. I'd like a motion to open ordinance number 1792 up for a public hearing.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Would any member of the public like to speak on or against or have a comment to ordinance number 1792? All right, can I have a motion to close the hearing on ordinance number 1792 to the public?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, is there anyone who'd like to make a motion on the final adoption of ordinance number 1792?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilman Estrada?
Yes.
Councilman Cola?
Yes.
Councilman McMillan?
Yes.
Councilman Bartoloni?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Next is ordinance number 1793. This is an ordinance amending Chapter 206 regarding fees of the Borough of River Edge. Can I have a motion to open the hearing to the public on ordinance number 1793?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the public hearing has commenced on ordinance number 1793 regarding fees. Does any member of the public wish to have a comment or ask a question regarding the proposed ordinance? Can I have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance number 1793?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion for the final adoption of ordinance number 1793?
So moved.
Second.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilman Freda?
Yes.
Councilman Paula?
Yes.
Councilman McMillan?
Yes.
And Councilman Bartoloni?
Yes.
All right, very good. Resolutions by consent on the agenda, 13-288, up to and including 13-305, and
We're
then...
tabling 304.
Okay, and then there is 13-306, the payment of bills. Alan?
Mayor, I'd ask the council to table Resolution 13-305. We have not received the appropriate maintenance deposits, escrow fees, or approval from the borough engineer on this.
We're still working on the, I was going to also ask, because we're still working on the licensing agreement as to who would be responsible for the repair of the pipe that's going to be under the road, whether we can shift that burden to the homeowner, or once it's built and it's out of his property and under borough property or borough road, it becomes our responsibility. So we're looking into that.
Okay, there's a request to table,
Table 304 and 305.
304 and 305. There's a motion to table 304 and 305. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we're left with ordinance 13-288 to 13-303, and then the payment of bills.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Ed, would you like to do 13-306?
Yes, ma'am. Whereas vouchers for the payment of goods and services rendered to the Borough of River Edge have been received, and whereas each bill has been checked by the receiving department, approved by the Chief Financial Officer and Borough Clerk, and reviewed by the 3 members of the Finance Committee. Now therefore be it resolved that bills as listed now be confirmed for payment from the appropriate funds as follows. Current account, $7,425,440.33. Capital account, $13,353.14. Recreation account, $8,150.01. Trust other account, $6,234.40. Trust other developers account, $2,595. Open space account, $1,776.99. So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? Thank you. Can I have a motion to open the public meeting to the hearing to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, this is the time for any member of the public who wishes to ask a question, make a comment, to raise their hand and be recognized. Anyone like to address the mayor and council on any issue affecting their interest? Okay. I have a motion to close the
So moved.
public session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Any council comments this evening? Councilwoman Murphy.
I just wanted to let everyone know that the River Edge Alliance Against Drugs is presenting Yoga for Your Health at the library Wednesday, August 28th at 11 a.m. So if everyone would like to go, they can contact papaleomarie@yahoo.com by August 25th. And our own resident, Yvette Halligan, will be teaching this yoga class to the residents at no charge. The library duct cleaning will be completed this Wednesday. There will be pictures that Darryl will give me for the next meeting. He says the ducts were really in terrible condition. The library also has gotten 2 panic buttons that will directly notify the PD in case of an emergency. The 2 largest of the 6 AC HVACs are non-operational at the library and non-repairable. So Dara spoke to John, and they are looking at estimates to replace the HVAC. The second meeting room at the library is open, so there have been groups going in there. It used to be a storage room, now there's an extra meeting room. And that's what I have.
Councilman Alfredo.
Mr. Mayor, I have no comments, thank you.
Councilman Capola.
No comments.
Councilman Mignon.
Yeah, just briefly, I wish I was able to do it while he was here, but I wanted to wish Lieutenant Curran well on his retirement. In my unit with the police department, I've admired his professionalism, his dedication to the town, his vast institutional knowledge, particularly on traffic issues. Anytime I had a question or brought up an intersection, I didn't have to recreate the wheel, because he went through the whole history of why we did what when, and why whatever somebody wants to propose now doesn't work. I think he's going to create a big void in the department, and he'll be missed, and so I wish him well on his retirement.
Councilman Bartoloni.
Thank you, Mayor. I also just want to wish Lieutenant Curran good fortune and, God bless on his retirement. Sometimes you get nervous with all the retirements we've had in the police department in terms of continuity. Since I've been on the council, I think we voted on hiring, I think, 5 or so officers, you just hope that you keep that continuity going, especially as you've lost so many top members of the department. But we've hired good people, and there's good people in the ranks to keep coming up into the supervisory positions. But it's definitely a loss when you lose somebody like Lieutenant Curran. That's it.
Thank you. Okay, I just want to stress for members of the public that the borough's moving forward on municipal projects. The ADA doors are just about completed, which is a very good thing. The painting of the Borough Hall is just about completed. It's looking pretty snazzy out there. Beautification will pretty up the front of Borough Hall with some nice plantings in time to come. I see our new tree truck around town taking down some big monster trees and not having any difficulty getting over and above the electrical lines, which is saving us money from not having to go out and hire a crane. I thought it was appropriate tonight that when Officer Curran made his comments about trying to have a vision for the town in police hiring, to look towards local residents who actually grew up here and reside here, that we had a item on our agenda to begin the process. And I'm hoping that the chief has a test, and that many of our young residents, male and female, apply to take the test, and that we start giving some consideration to our residents for jobs in law enforcement. Thank you.
I hope he gives us the Nixle password.
Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention was that please try to get it out there that on August 24th at Newbridge Landing, we will be having the first Newbridge Landing Wine Festival. There are 7 wineries that are lined up. There are some corporate sponsors. There are 3 bands. Money that is raised on the admission will go towards eventually building a museum and a visitor center with actual bathrooms and facilities down there, so that once again we can open up that historic property to use during the weekday. At one time there were thousands of students who made yearly field trips to that facility. And if we have a visitor center down there that is equipped with the necessary bathroom facilities and such, and they'll have a gift shop, it can actually be self-sustaining.
Sanducci's is bringing their pizza oven.
Sanducci's is bringing their pizza oven. If anybody knows of any amateur winemakers, I am having a amateur winemaking competition, and I'll be announcing the winner at the event.
A lot of amateur wine drinkers, man. There's a whole lot of those.
Are you removing yourself from the equation?
No, I'm not putting anything into the contest.
Will all the parking lots be available?
There'll be a huge vacuum.
Mayor, will all the parking lots be available for this event? New Jersey Transit and our own?
The Bergen County Historical Society is coordinating with Police Chief Caridi for traffic control. I would like I'd like the Newbridge Landing Commission to be able to they're going to put excess parking into the New Jersey Transit lot. I think if the rocks are moved out of the way in front of our little piece of property, we could get some cars on that piece of property. They expect a few thousand people to attend the event, which would be good. We're coordinating with the volunteer ambulance service so that they're in attendance for emergencies, and looks like it could be a really nice
The police reserves will be down there, probably?
Police reserves will be down there.
Yeah, I think we just need to make sure that there is directing traffic, telling people that don't live in this area where to go park, and because that's a very major thoroughfare there, and 3,000 people, there could easily be 700 cars.
There is a banner up.
Big collection.
You could come in a swim club and then just...
There's a banner up advertising the wine festival at the corner of Main Street and Kennecott.
Driving in the senior van over.
I tried to talk them into putting another banner across Route 4, but they don't want to get in trouble with the DOT.
No, you mean Kennecott.
No, Route 4. You know, the pedestrian overpass? This would be a great place for a banner.
Way to look on the positive side, Denise.
4th of July. So, why not?
I'm sure they don't ask permission.
No.
All right, I'd like them, just enjoy the rest of the summer, everybody. Hopefully, we won't have any more of those 100-year storms, and everybody be safe. See you at the next council meeting. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.